Hello and Assalamu alaikum everyone. I'm Kashif Kamran and a very warm welcome to the AAA Webinar to Success for September 2025 exams. Today is the 9th of August. That means the exams are just 21 days away, 3 weeks. What sort of things you should do over the next 3 weeks to get success in the AAA exam? That is the agenda of this webinar. And again, this webinar is the free version of the webinar I do for my YouTube channel for the AAA students globally. There are 5 things as part of my agenda for this webinar. Number one, essential resources to success over the next 21 days. Issues hindering success on which you need to work on over the next 21 days. Strategy to success on the day of exam. That is very, very important because even if you're well prepared and you are not keeping yourself calm, that is a disaster in making on the day of exam. So we'll discuss more about that. Number four, managing time to success. And number five, key tips to success. Now, just before I open up the first agenda, which is the essential resources to success, let's first take a holistic view of the AAA syllabus and the paper format so you exactly know what are core areas and how are they examinable and have you prepared sufficiently for each of the core area for the upcoming exam. Syllabus versus the AAA paper. You all know that the section A of the paper in AAA consists of a question number 1 for 50 marks, and that is such an important question. This question is set at the planning stage of the audit, and this is coming from the syllabus area D. So syllabus area D is the mainstay of the question number 1. You need to ask a question to yourself how well versed you are with the syllabus area D. Now, you know syllabus area D covers topics like audit risk, business risk, risk of material misstatement, including audit procedures. You must have seen question in the past papers asking for planning matters for the first year audit. Explain the matters you should consider when planning the first year audit. You should be very good into such questions as well. So syllabus area D is the planning stage of the audit, and you know it has a very significant impact on the first question, which is set at the planning stage of the audit. So you should be very well versed into it. In the recent past papers, we have seen a new style of from question, and you should be very well versed with that new style of ROM question, which has come more regularly in the past paper. For example, September December 24 question number 1C, March June 24 question number 1B, and March June 23 question number 1B. When you see these particular questions, you will realize what I mean by new style of ROM question. So please ensure you spend time on these new style of ROM questions and very well versed with how to write an answer for them. Section B of the paper. In the section B of the paper, you know there are 2 questions and one of them has to be from syllabus area E, which is completion and reporting. Syllabus area E is a mandatory syllabus area because one of the question will be from it, just like syllabus area D. So you need to be very well versed in completion and reporting stage. You need to be very good in audit reporting. You should be very good in communication of matters to those charged with governance. You should be very good in going concern. You should be very good in audit evidence. So that is very, very important. So syllabus area E is a mandatory syllabus area which will come in one of the question in section B. Then syllabus area F. Though it's not every time you see a question coming from syllabus area F, but it's like 3 out of 5. It's very frequent. So being very frequent, you cannot ignore it. So syllabus area F, you know, consists of the other assignments like due diligence, review of prospective financial information, forensic audit. You know, they had been very popular with the examiner, particularly review of prospective financial information has been very popular with the examiner. You must have seen most questions on an other assignment is from prospective financial information if you have done some 7 to 8 papers. So you need to give significance to review of prospective financial information as well. But in the recent 6 to 9 months, or in under a year, we have seen examining team uh, shifting their focus on sustainability assurance. You know, 3 articles were published on sustainability assurance, which are under the syllabus area F, and they were published almost like 7 to 8 months ago. And all of you must have read them. And you know, in the recent exam papers, like September, December 24, there was a question which is available on sustainability assurance. And even in the mock exam, which is published for September 25, there is a question on sustainability assurance even in the mock exam. So students should be very well versed with sustainability assurance from syllabus area F. They should do the question number 2 from the September December 24 paper. And definitely you will be doing the mock exam for September. So there is another question on sustainability assurance in that as well. So how good you are in syllabus area D, E, and F, and the new style of ROM question and sustainability assurance. That is the confidence you need at this point in time. You need to ask a question to yourself, where are you standing in terms of D, E, and F, new style of ROM question, and assurance of sustainability assurance 21 days before exam? You still have 21 days to excel, perfection, and get to success. But your confidence in these 3 syllabus areas will matter the most on the exam day. Now, what about the remaining syllabus areas, ABC? You know, syllabus areas ABCs can come anywhere in the paper. They can fit anywhere in the paper. Regulatory environment like joint audit advantages and disadvantages, opening balances, like professional skepticism, like auditor liability, money laundering, using the work of an expert, internal auditor, group auditor, component auditor. These are all things which can pop up as like knowledge anywhere. Money laundering, yes, is can be a healthier question like 10 marks, 12 marks. You must have seen in the past papers money laundering touching up to 10 to 12 marks. But this is an area which can fit anywhere in the paper. Ethical and professional issues. Normally, we find 6 to 8 marks coming in question number 1, section A. That's an important area. I hope you're well versed on that. And then definitely quality management had been a dominating area in the recent 1.5 year since we have seen the conversion of quality control to quality management. Since then, it has become more popular with the examining team, and quality management continues to hold importance even for September 25 exams. Practice management, you cannot deny the importance of that because you know in practice management, matters to consider in accepting a new audit client, or matters to consider in agreeing the terms of engagement, or matters to consider in accepting an engagement from either a new client or from an existing client. You should be very well versed with that. And you must have seen a couple of questions around accepting a new client or accepting an engagement from a new client or an existing client. I hope you know the fundamentals of how to go about solving a question like such. Yes, recently we know quality management has been a dominating area. Will the dominance continue in September 25? To me, yes. Current issues. We know the current issues only come in the AAA paper when the examining team puts an emphasis on that. Is there any emphasis for September? Is there any particular current issue for September? My answer to that is no. Can the previous emerging issues like data analytics or the climatical change and the role of the auditor can come in? Yes. But is there any particular one for September? No. But should you be well versed with data analytics? Yes. Should you be well versed with auditor responsibility for climatical change? Considering sustainability is part of the syllabus now, we can expect more emphasis on climatical risk or auditor responsibility for climatical risk coming your way in the future exams. So just be good on that. And I've already covered things on that in my regular courses. So this is the holistic picture, which gives you an idea where are you standing today, 21 days before the exam. So you know the paper structure, you know how paper is developed, you know the importance of syllabus area D, E, and F, and you know how ABC can contribute to the remaining marks in the paper. So that's one area you should be good at. Recent pass rates is giving us a lot of optimism, is giving you all a lot of optimism. You all are preparing for September exams, knowing the fact that the AAA passing rate has now touched 40% finally. And we have not seen that in last many years. I've already put a post on my LinkedIn page as well about this historical passing rates at 40%. Now you can read that as well. But 40% is giving you a lot of optimism that this paper is becoming more doable, more manageable. It's not that frightened sort of paper. It's not that fearful sort of paper. It used to be, because in the last 5 exam sittings, we have seen a gradual shift from 37 to 38 to 39 and to 40. So you're appearing for September exams with a lot of optimism that if you stick to the basics, you follow the wish list of the examiner, you stick to the fundamentals, you do what was guided to you by the tutor, you will come out with success, definitely. Now let's come to the first agenda. And the first agenda was to look at the essential resources for success. 21 days left for exam. This is the time when you must have packed up. This is the time when you are into the review and finalization stage for your approach to exam. Just like we have a syllabus area E, completion and reporting stage. So you are into the completion stage as well. Now, it's just about revising. Have we done enough for the September 25 exam? We have 21 days. How to utilize those 21 days? Number one, past papers. 9 essential past papers. I'll be showing you what are 9 essential papers, which are available on the ACCA practice platform, plus the mock exam. The mock exam was released yesterday on the 8th of August. So that will make it the 10th paper. So in all, you have 21 days and you have 10 papers to do, 9 past papers, 1 mock exam. Each exam paper consists of 3 questions. So that's 30. I don't find any need of going into revision kits or anywhere. If you seriously spend time on these 10 papers, including the mock, and you do 50% of them with time management, you do 50% of them allocating 195 minutes, you are moving towards brilliance, success. More than 5 papers with time management, excellent, exceptional. I would prefer you do all 10 papers with time management. But if you're not doing these papers with time management, you're not keeping a timer, you're not keeping a timer of 195 minutes, you're not stopping, you're not judging yourself, you are calling yourself into a disaster on the day of exam. Please ensure it's not just doing the past papers, it's more importantly doing them with a time management. Judge yourself how much paper you complete. If you're just doing them in a relaxed manner without an exam environment, that's not a good practice. Technical articles, another very important thing to me as a tutor. 21 days before exam, there are some technical articles which needs to be read, which needs to be brushed over, and I will be giving you a list of that shortly. Examiner reports, I would prefer that you're reading at least one examiner report, which is the March, June 25. I'll be paying visit to that in my sessions to come on YouTube. And I will be going over the key issues which have been highlighted from the March, June 25 examiner report. So at least the student can listen to my YouTube session if they're not reading the examiner report. But it's mandatory to read it because it will give you insights why students fail, why students struggle, why students find difficulty in passing the AAA paper. But students don't bother to read about it. Please, in the next 21 days, keep in your agenda that I have to read the March, June 25 examiner report right after I do the March, June 25 past paper. So first do the paper, first solve the paper, then read it. And finally, working on the weak areas. You know your weak areas well. Some of you might be weak in business risk. Some of you might be weak in evidence. Some might be weak in reporting. Some might be weak in prospective financial information. Find your weak areas, work on them. Find your weak areas and work on them. So if any area is bothering you, is irritating you, you're feeling underconfident in that area, you still have 21 days to get it done. You can talk to your tutor. You can ask your tutor the best way to move forward in that particular syllabus area. You can do lots of past paper in that syllabus area because that is important, working on your weaker areas. So look at the essential resources. 10 papers, including mock. I'll be giving you a list of the technical articles, one examiner report. I'm not expecting much, one examiner report, and then just working on your weak areas. So this is the strategy you should be taking for the next 21 days. Now, I've already shared this with my students, the 10 papers. There are 7 past papers available on the ACC practice platform. You can see that up front. Papers from September 22 exams, September 22 to June 25. If you count them, there's 7 past papers available on the ACC practice platform. Then there are 2 practice exams which are applicable from September 22. So those 2 practice exams applicable from September 22 makes it 9, and the mock exam makes it 10. So you have a 10 past papers in all to do in the 21 days with time management, and you're moving to excellence. Articles in the next 21 days. Auditor liability. ISQM1 and ISQM2, the article on ISQM1 and ISQM2 under the syllabus area C, please ensure you read through them. There is a lot of knowledge in these articles, and examiner might test these knowledge for 4 marks, 6 marks. Don't take a risk. Read these articles, ensure that every knowledge area within the article is read, is understood, and you're going through it. Approaching the section A question, which is an article, which is a technical article under the syllabus area D, how you should approach a section A question. Please read through that. It gives you the new style of ROM question even. Exam technique articles on how to write a good business risk answer, an exam technique article on how to write a good audit risk and ROM answer. Please ensure you go through it and you follow the fundamentals and you stick to those fundamentals when you're writing your own answer. Ethics in the AAA paper. That's another exam technique article. Please ensure you read through that. ISA 600 revised, the group audit. Going concern article. Auditor report to those charged with governance. IAASA 5000 ED. So this is a list of articles you should be going through over the next 21 days. If you have read through them already, wonderful. If you have not yet read through them, identify which are missing. Read them over the next 21 days. But most of these articles are exam technique articles. One of them is around sustainability, which is an important area. 2 of them is around quality management, which is still an important area. I cannot even ignore the importance of ISA 600 revised group audit. Auditor liability, I normally expect that to be a surprise element. You can't miss it. You can't take a risk. So please ensure not to lose focus on auditor liability either. Communication with those charged with governance is important area. And going concern, is a core area of the AAA paper. And please, assurance on sustainability, part 1 and part 2. That's an article we missed on. So assurance on sustainability information, part 1 and part 2. So sustainability articles, please read them. Quality management articles, please read them. Exam technique articles, please read them. These are all very important. Examiner report. I just mentioned that you should read one examiner report, which is the latest one, June 25, so that you are able to identify why students fail, what goes wrong, what is the criticism of the examiner. Please take 60 to 90 minutes, read it like a story. Just quickly go over the examiner report. Wherever you find any criticism of the examiner, underline it. Wherever you find any concern of examiner, underline it and learn from it. I normally tell my student, make short notes of the examiner report. Keep a red pen, keep a green pen, underline the criticism of the examiner in the red. And wherever the examiner is giving you an advice, where the examiner is appreciating, underline that in green. And then make a summary. Then make a summary of the reds and the greens. Uh, you will see a lot of benefit. You will see a lot of benefit at the end of the day if you do that red and green analysis. So what you need to do is that you need to read one examiner report very carefully with finding the criticism, taking a summary of the criticism, and then finding the advices of the examiner, finding the appreciation of the examiner, and taking notes of that. And if you study that and you do the past paper after it, you will see a remarkable improvement coming in your answer. So you can even do the examiner report reading first before you attempt an answer, because that will bring a remarkable impact in the way you present or in the way you write the answer. So please keep 90 minutes for the examiner report over the next 21 days. That's not a bad bargain, right? I'm asking from all of you. So please ensure you go through the examiner report and try to do the mock exam after you've read the examiner report, because that will bring a real quality answer when you're doing the mock exam for September. Okay, working on the weak areas. Each one of you must be knowing your weak areas. You will have a different list of weak areas from a student to student. Identify your weak areas. You still have 21 days. Focus on your weak areas and try to polish them up as quickly as possible. If you have any concerns on your weaker areas, you can reach me on my WhatsApp. Number two, what are issues which hinder success in AAA? Let's investigate them. Issues hindering success. 5. Number 1, lack of command on the financial reporting standards. You know, if you're weak into the financial reporting standards, you're struggling in AAA. Audit risk, risk of material misstatement, a question on reporting, and a question on evidence cannot be done without your excellence in financial reporting standards. So you need to be very good in your financial reporting standards. You should have a strong command on your knowledge of the financial reporting standards. And that can even come from the practice of the past paper. Because the more you practice the past papers, in every past paper, you will come across different accounting issues. You can make a summary of them. In a question on audit risk, you will come across different accounting treatments. In a question on evidence, in a question on reporting. So in every single exam paper, you can just make a summary of the number of standards which came in, uh, the concepts of those accounting standards, what you learn from those accounting standards. So if you're doing 10 past papers, you can keep a paper with you and you can pen down the accounting standards which came in the 10 past papers. You can make a good summary over the next 21 days. You can revise them up because there is a lot of repetition as well in the accounting standards. IFRS 18, replacing IS 1. I'll be doing an exclusive session on that beside this session, publicly available for all, including my registered students and everyone giving AAA in September. So I'll be having a quick session on that. Stay tuned for that. I'll be alerting you when that is available. But IFRS 18, replacing IS 1, how will it impact the paper? How will it impact the presentation of the financial statement, which is given in the question number 1, and what the student should expect? So all such will be covered. Number 2, weak in core areas. I've just had a word on that. Investigate your weak areas. Don't go to the exam with a weakness. Convert your weakness into your strength. In whichever area you're weak, please overcome that. And you cannot expect yourself to be weak in the core area, like procedures, like risk, like evidence, like reporting. You can't be weak in these areas because this makes 70% of the paper. So you need to be very strong on audit risk, risk of material misstatement, business risk. You need to be very strong on reporting. You need to be very strong on audit evidence. These are core areas, procedures, quality management. You need to be very strong in these areas. So if you have any sort of weaknesses, please overcome them. Number 3, missing key elements in the answer. A lot of time the student, when writing the answer, they miss some elements in the answer, which is not very impressive. For example, not very well presented answer, not putting headings and subheadings, not presenting the answer in an appropriate manner because it's a theoretical paper. And in a theoretical paper, your answer should be very well presented. Lack case linkage. Your answer is not linked to the case. 70% of the answer is journal. 70% of the answer is bookish. 70% of the answer is coming from your knowledge. There is no link to the case study. Useless answer. The point is not well developed. I think just before the session, I was having a discussion with one of the student, and he was asking me that how much he should write. I told him that you have 195 minutes in the exam and you have 100 marks, including the professional marks. So that's ideally 1.95 minutes per mark. So how much you can write in 1.95 minutes? Two sentences, three sentences. Now that is a well-developed point. Now that will vary from a student to student. But if you write over, you're killing the opportunities. You're not writing over in the exam. Well-developed point is what max you can write in 1.95 minutes per mark. So it could be two sentences for one student. It could be three sentences for another student. So well-developed point, there is no hard and fast definition, but will vary from a student to student. But yes, merely putting a sentence is not appropriate. When something is to be explained, like an audit risk, audit risk cannot be one sentence. Audit risk needs something like 4 to 5 sentences because you need to talk about the accounting treatments, you need to talk about the under and over statements, you need to talk about the materiality. So that takes a lot of space. But when you look at a procedure, a well-developed procedure is just like one sentence. So things will vary in the exam paper, but you need to know what is a well-developed point. Writing less versus marks. If you are unaware of the marking scheme, you might be writing less versus marks, which is not good. Losing professional marks. I will be doing a session on professional marks again, just to guide you how can you gain these marks. Stay tuned for that as well. There will be a session on IFRS 18. There will be a session on professional marks. So I have planned all of them over a week time, and you will see them coming over the next 5 to 6 days on my YouTube channel. Just stay tuned for them. Number four, time management. That's the biggest problem in AAA. I have a separate time in my webinar today on time management. I'll be focusing on it. But I know the student writes a lot at times. And when they're writing a lot, they're writing it at the expense of another question. You might excel the question number one and you compromise the section B. That's not good. You will not pass. Or either you excel on the section B and you compromise section A. You will not pass. You need to do a balanced paper. You need to give the stipulated time to each question. You need to give ideal time to each question. If you're giving over time to a question, you are writing over for one question. That's not the wise exam strategy, and this will not make you pass. Please ensure you have to ensure the time management of 1.95 minutes per mark, and you need to wrap up the answer within that time, and you need to move on to the next question. I'll be speaking more of the time management shortly. And lastly, lack of exam practice, the quality one. Practicing quantity rather quality and not doing much time-based practice is a disaster. Students are running after quantity. I just mentioned 21 exam days remaining, 21 days to exam, and 10 papers. That's quality. But students are still asking, should we do the BPP kit? Should we do the Kaplan kit? Should we do the papers, the past papers on ACC Study Hub? No. Focus on quality. Focus on doing them in time management. If you run after quantity, that's not good. Focus on quality. Focus on 10 papers, total 30 questions. Do them in time management. You're preparing yourself in the right manner for the upcoming exam. So look at the issues hindering success. One, two, three, four, five. Financial reporting standards, including IFRS 18, weak in core areas, missing the key elements when writing the answer, time management, and lack of uh, Okay, can you all hear me back? We were discussing the issues hindering success. Okay, was there any issue with my voice when I was discussing the issues hindering success from 1 to 5? Have you all heard 1 to 5? Okay. The last point definitely was the quality of the practice, right? Not the quantity of the practice, because you have to focus on the quality of practice. That's the 10 past papers, including mock, which you need to do in the 21 days. Students running after quantity of past papers, that's not good. Okay, moving on. Core IAS and core IFRS 15. Now, this is not an exhaustive list. Please don't say that Sir Kashif told that we have to do only these IAS and IFRS. No, not at all. This is not an exhaustive list. This is just some very common standards we find in the paper. I've just included IFRS 18 to that list, and I've highlighted that in the red color to show I'll be doing a session on that, and that's something new for September exams. How will it impact it? That's too early to say. But look at the other standards. They're so common in the past papers. Please ensure you revise these standards. You go through these standards. You know the accounting treatment of these standards to be very well versed with syllabus area D and E and how it impacts the paper. Okay, moving on. Strategy to success on the day of exam. Now, once you are all prepared and you go to the exam day, that is the most important day, right? You put efforts, financial efforts, physical efforts. Uh, you put a lot of time in studying. You had a social disconnect. You might had a disconnect with your family. You put your heart, you put your efforts, right? You put your commitments, dedication in preparing yourself for September exams. On the day of exam, that's the most important day. What you should do, let's talk about it. Number one, start with section A or B first. Frequently asked question. There is no right and wrong answer to this. You can start with B, you can start with A, whatever you want to do. It's up to you. Now, when you're practicing the 10 papers, and if you have a plan that you will start with B in the real exam, then the 10 papers you're practicing at home, please ensure you do B first and A after. If you have any plan of doing B first and A after in the real exam, then you have to practice B first and A after, even in the 10 papers you are doing, and in the time management, right? Whatever time you have for B, stick to it. Whatever time you have for A, stick to it. You know the time managements, right? I've discussed them a lot of time before. But my suggestion is that you start with A first. Why? Because I believe when you enter the exam hall, you're all fresh. Your mind is all fresh. You're all focused. You're all clear. Your mind is clear. Your mind is working at the best. And that is needed for Section A because there's a lot to do in Section A and probably a lot to read. So, with the fresh mind, clean mind, clear mind, I think you can do the best in Section A because when you come from B to A, your mind will be exhausted. Your mind will be occupied. You will start to feel that a little bit of lethargicness in the exam might impact the quality of the section A answer. Yes, on the vice versa, when you're coming from the B to A, you must have developed your typing speed. You must have developed the efficiency. So in that way, section A could be boosted. So there are pros and cons, right? There are pros and cons of doing A first and B after and the vice versa. But my strategy is to do A first because you can put your fresh energy, your fresh mindset, your clear mindset on the section A, and then you can move to B. But again, there is no right and wrong answer to this. Whichever strategy you need to follow, stick to it when you're doing the 10 papers at home. Number two, attack on opportunities. In an exam, on the exam day, there might be something you don't know for like 10 marks, 5 marks, 12 marks in the question number one, or whichever question you're doing. Rather than thinking about it, glaring at it, looking at it, wasting your time on it, just flag it and move on. You can come back to it later. Suppose it's a 10 marks requirement and you don't know it. How much time you need for a 10 marks requirement? Approximately 20 minutes, right? Or 19 minutes. Flag it and move on. In the end of the exam, keep 19 minutes, come back to it. Now you know these are the last 19 minutes of the exam. Just let's think what best I can do for this 10 marks I don't know about it. Rather than leaving it empty, you can fill something. You can think about something. You can recall your knowledge. You can read the case. You might find something out of it. So instead of leaving the 10 marks blank, or for those 10 marks uh, m- affecting your remaining 90 marks, that's not bad. Just sideline the 10 marks. Just don't think about those 10 marks. Just come back to them at later stage of your paper, and just try to do the best you can on that. Don't spoil your remaining paper for 10 marks. Such situations do happen. Such situations are very normal. Be prepared for them. And don't leave that 10 marks blank. Try to do something, try to fill something. At least you might get 2 marks, 3 marks, and that could be the difference between passing and failing. So, wise decision making is important. If you find something unusual, what will you do? Will you glare at it? Waste time on it? Will you increase your stress level and affect the 90% of the paper? Or will you just sideline that 10 marks and come back to it later? What's the wise strategy? Tell me honestly, all of you. It's about wise decision making on the day of exam. Any student who is not taking the wise decisions, who is not looking at the opportunities, will fail. Look at the glass as half full, not as half empty. Don't be pessimistic. Any student who look into the opportunities will pass. But any student who look at what you don't know and that dominates your mind, your stress level will increase up, and that's the disaster in making. Is point number two clear to all of you? Is that a strategy which is workable? Is that a strategy which can assure that you're focusing on what you know rather than focusing on what you don't know? And is that something natural which happens in exam? Even how well you are prepared, there might be something which you don't know. That's the strategic level exams of ACCA, right? So be prepared for it and take the wise decision when it matters the most. Number three, give only a desired time on a requirement. Stop and move on. I've been emphasizing this for the last 1 year. Stop and move on. This is something uh, I've been using very regularly. Stop and move on. Stop and move on. For a 10 marks question, you have 19 minutes. Where 19 minutes end, stop, move on. Don't overrun time because you're killing opportunities. Don't overrun time at the expense of the other opportunities. Wherever the time is up, wherever you are, put a full stop, move on. So please ensure that every question has a time. You need to stop and you need to move on, because a lot of time the student work on excelling one question, and when they're excelling one question, they are killing the opportunities. Yes, if you get stuck in the mid answer, rather than wasting time, you can come back to it later. So wherever you get stuck, glaring, thinking, wasting your time, it's better just stop and come back. It's a computer-based exam, right? You can come back and fill it up. So what is important? What is important in point number two and three? Prioritizing the opportunities, right? Are you getting this point, all of you? It's about prioritizing the opportunities. It's about looking into the opportunities. It's about doing something you know the best and come back to the things you don't know the best later. That's very, very important, right? So give desired time to each question. Wherever the time gets up, stop and move on. Number fourth, calm and compose. Keeping your nerve calm. You prepared for this big day and you don't want to spoil it. Take take wise decisions. Just like number two, you prepared for this big day. Why would you like to spoil it? 10 marks, you don't know, no worries, leave it. Look at the 90% of the paper. Can't you pass from 90%? You can. Be optimistic. Why are you so pessimistic? Why do you increase your stress level in the exam? You need to be composed. You need to be calm. You need to look into the opportunities. You need to look at what you can do. You can come back to something you don't know later. These are all wise decision makings which can enable success for your upcoming exams. I hope you will follow 1, 2, 3, 4 wisely and carefully, right? So I hope you will go through this numbered list 1, 2, 3, 4 in terms of um, your exam day strategy. Okay. Managing time for success in AAA, though we had a lot of discussion on it, just let's quickly wrap it up. You know, time is the biggest threat in the AAA paper. That's only the reason that you write a lot. Uh, if you start writing within time and you stop when the time is up, time management is so adequate in AAA paper. When I even do papers for before teaching them to the students, I fit them in 195 minutes because you need to a keep an eye on the watch. You need to know, okay, the time is up. Let's put a full stop and move on. So you need to develop a tendency of how much you can write in 1.95 minutes per mark. Test yourself today or tomorrow. How much you can write in 1.95 minutes? 2 sentences, 3 sentences. Now that's the maximum. That's the maximum, right? The stop and move on strategy I just emphasized on, wherever the time gets up, stop and move on, right? That's something important you need to do. Spending overtime on one question at the expense of another question, that's a very bad strategy, and I never love that. 1.95 minutes per mark. So you know that there is a 10 marks question. You will find the total time. Of that total time, 1/4 is to read and 3/4 is to write. A lot of time, the student compromise the 1/4 reading time. 1/4 of your total exam time, 1/4 of the 195 minutes is the reading and planning time. And every question you do, and every question you multiply by 1.95, you will get the total time. Of that total time, 1/4 is to read, 3/4 is to write. Reading and planning is important. Without reading and planning, you cannot execute a good answer. Reading the case study, reading the requirements, all of that is important. So please focus a lot on time management. The 10 past papers have to be done in time management. Follow my advice of stop and move on, giving an ideal time to each question paper, not overtime. In that way, you are moving towards brilliance in the upcoming exam. And finally, the most important thing for this webinar, key tips for success. Now, we discussed so many things so far, so forth. And the students expect from the tutor that they give them some key topics. What can come in the paper? Now, honestly, I'm not the examiner. Number two, yes, I have a lot of experience teaching this AAA paper. It's been 18 years since I'm teaching this AAA qualification now, AAA paper now. So, yes, experience do matter. But whenever I give the key topics, I put a disclaimer. Uh, Full syllabus is must. Going through the full syllabus and covering every aspect of the syllabus is very, very important. These shortcuts, these key topics, these key tips, they're not a substitute of the full syllabus. So once you've done the full syllabus, you are into the last 21 days, you want to revise, you want to have a quick glance of key things, that's where these key tips becomes really important. Let's have a word on them. Number one, is there any new publication since the June 25 exams are over? No. Has the examining team published any new articles since the June 25 exams were over to the September 25 exams? No. So in the last 3 months, no new article, no new publication has come in. Is there any current issue, particularly for September 25 exams? No. But yes, data analytics and the climatical risk and the auditor responsibility still hold its importance. But any particular one for September? No. Any particular article for September? No. IFRS 18 has replaced IAS 1 effective September 25 exams. Be watchful of this and be watchful of my session coming soon. Core areas, syllabus area D, syllabus area E, syllabus area F. I've just mentioned them at the beginning of my session today, will still hold importance. The practice of the 10 essential paper will give you a lot of confidence on the core areas D, E, and F. So if you practice the 10 papers, you will have a lot of command on the core areas, and that command will be really helpful. So don't compromise the core areas, don't compromise syllabus area D, E, and F. Don't compromise the holistic picture I've given you at the start of the session, because that all is very, very important. Now, some important areas. Don't ignore new style of ROM question, which I've mentioned at the beginning of my webinar today. The September-December 24 question number 1C, March-June 24 question number 1B, and March-June 23 question number 1B. Quality management, it's an important topic. You can practice an exam paper September 22 question number 2 as a good question. Sustainability, that is important. September-December 24 question number 2 and the one question which is in the September 25 mock. Review of prospective financial information, September 22 question number 3C, on the appropriateness of the audit report on PFI. And then the two questions in the bracket, December 22 question number 2 and March-June 23 question number 2 on review of prospective financial information. So there are three questions on prospective financial information. One is around the audit report on PFI, which is September 22 question number 3C. And two are typical PFI questions, December 22 and March-June 23. Please ensure you're brushing over them. Communication to those charged with governance, March-June 23, question number 3. These are just exemplary questions to help you brush over these topics. ISO 600 revised, please ensure you know the qualitative factors in deciding who is a significant component, not the 15% threshold anymore. You know, the qualitative factors are more important than the 15% threshold. So be well prepared on ISO 600 revised. Paragraphs like key audit matters, material uncertainty relating to going concern, emphasis of a meta paragraph, other information para, and other meta para. Please be very clear. Please know when to use them, because a lot of time the students are good into qualified opinions, adverse opinions, and disclaimers, but they're not very good with paragraph, and they really spoil the situations. Practice management matters, like matters in accepting a client or matters in accepting an engagement, is an important topic. We know examining team is very fond of asking questions, even when question comes on um, other assignments. How many times the questions on other assignments ask you matters to consider in accepting an engagement? Even in sustainability assurance, matters in accepting the sustainability assurance. So practice management, syllabus area C is an important area. You should be well versed with the fundamentals of practice management, because they can be applied in the audit engagement and the non-audit engagements. Knowledge topics like money laundering, auditor liability, and outsourcing and its impact on audit are important. Now, again, these are just my wild guesses. These are not, this is not something like affirmative. This is not something like, oh, this is the September paper. Not at all. This is just an assessment. This is just an idea. But again, full syllabus is important. Key tips, knowledge areas. Matters you should consider in planning the first year audit, just like September, December 21 paper on Grubber question. The name of the company was, I think, Grubber, September, December 21 paper. And even the mock exam, September 25 mock exam, also have a question, matters you should consider in planning the first year audit. Discuss and conclude on the impact which outsourcing of the credit control function will have on our audit planning. December 22, question number 1C. Questions like such. Discuss the group auditor consideration when determining which component group audit work should be performed March, June 24, question number 3A, where ISA 600 and the knowledge will apply. Using Exhibit 3, discuss Broadway and Company responsibility in relation to the group non-compliance with laws and regulation. September, December 24, question number 1D. We know even laws and regulations are important. Auditor responsibility for laws and regulations. How do the auditor report a non-compliance? That is important. Questions like discuss the challenges associated with use of data analytics in performing external company audit. September, December 24, question number 3A. What challenges? If you've read the article on data analytics, if you've watched my video on data analytics, you must be knowing the answer to this question. With reference to the data protection issue referred in the Exhibit 2, discuss Quinn's company responsibility in reference to compliance with laws and regulation. September 22, question number 1D. So these are exemplary questions for knowledge. This is giving you an idea of the types of knowledge questions which pop in the AAA paper. So please ensure you go through these knowledge areas. Please ensure you go through the tips I've given you. And you're taking a printout of this presentation. I will be sharing this with all of you. Take a printout, keep it on your study table for the next 21 days. Ensure everything in this presentation has been ticked, checked, and you're done with it. So these are all the knowledge areas you should be well versed at. I've given you the important standards as well. I will be doing a separate session on IFRS 18, a separate session on professional skill marks, just to boost your confidence further over the next couple of days. These things are coming your way. An exclusive session for March, June 25 paper only for my registered students. So by September 25 students, you will be getting an extra session. Professional marks will be on YouTube. The IFRS 18 will be on YouTube as well. But the March June 25 paper, the drilling of the March June 25 paper, and even the mock debrief will be exclusively available to my September 2025 students only. So I hope you will largely benefit from these key tips. You will largely benefit from the important areas. You will largely benefit from the whether there is any new publication, whether there is any current issue, a reminder about IFRS 18. I hope this all will contribute to your exam preparation over the next 21 days. The 10 papers to do, the articles to do, the time management, the issues in the AAA paper, why students fail. And I hope everything blended in the session today will be effective for your next 21 days preparation. Okay, Patrick, I'll be sharing this presentation in the next 10 minutes on the WhatsApp group. So you can just take a view of these standards from there, right? Is that clear, Patrick? Okay, I hope you all thoroughly enjoyed the session today. I hope the session was beneficial. You can just raise that question in the WhatsApp group. Any areas which are struggling for you? I don't know your name because your name is coming as like admin to me. So admin, if you have any concerned areas, you can put them on the WhatsApp group. So was this session productive? Was this webinar productive for you to make a study approach for the next 21 days? Have this session given you a confidence? Have this session given you some sort of motivation for the next 21 days? So I hope the next 21 days, you will sit down, study effectively, devise a strategy, look into my presentation, and I wish you all the very best of luck. No session tomorrow. I'll be doing a session on IFRS 18 and professional marks. I'll update you. I'll update you when that will take place, most likely on Monday. So I'll be updating you for that. But it will take place over the next 3 to 4 days only. Okay, thank you so much, all of you. Study effectively. Wish you all the very best of luck. Stay tuned for more sessions coming on YouTube, IFRS 18 and professional skill marks, and exclusive sessions on mock debrief and March June 25 paper for my September 25 students. Take care. Goodbye and Allah Hafiz.